Welcome back to Mauerfall, a Call of Cthulhu Consilium adventure where you decide what happens. Welcome to Chapter 4. You hear no more of Claudia, Klaus, or Sophie after they are taken away. Time continues to pass. Tensions continue to grow. A new generation of wall is built. The fourth. This one is stronger, taller, and more complex than its previous iterations. This is the Stutzwahlen element, the UL1211. A tall, 3.6 meter high concrete sections are put in place around the circumference of the wall, 45,000 of them. It is rumored that some of these sections are weaker on the eastern side so that Soviet vehicles can break through them in case they need to invade. The top of the wall is made of smooth pipe to stop anyone or anything getting a grip on it. Defections from the east slow, although some still try to make it out. The sewers, too, are now guarded. Information once again slows to a crawl, and any mention of the problem seems to have disappeared. There are those who deny it ever really was an item worth investigating at all. The new wall, it seems, has finally done the trick. The 70s turn into the 80s. The Cold War seems to heat up, and it seems that there might be a World War III. Then, in the mid-1980s, things begin to change. Mikhail Gorbachev becomes General Secretary of the Soviet Union in 1985, with his policies of glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring. In Berlin, too, things begin to change in 1987. On June the 6th, David Bowie gives a concert in West Berlin, close to the wall. Thousands of East Berlin concert-goers secure special visas to attend. The concert is followed by rioting in East Berlin. Authorities in East Berlin were worried that they might lose the loyalty of a new generation of youth if they did not allow some access to rock and roll. The concert made the youth and the East in general hungrier, and these riots ultimately led to those which would lead to Mauerfall. On June the 12th, 6 days later, President Ronald Reagan delivered a speech in Berlin.
General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
On July 19th, 1988, Bruce Springsteen played a live concert in East Berlin itself, Rocking the Wall, attended by 300,000. Combined, Bowie, Reagan, and Springsteen awoke something, or responded to something which was already awake and moving. In June 1989, both Poland and Hungary's communist governments fell. East Germans flocked to the dismantled border between Hungary and Austria, hungry and eager to escape East Germany and East Berlin. Travel to Hungary was banned. Undeterred, defectors travelled to Czechoslovakia, and from there to Hungary, and then to Austria. In October 1989, the long-serving leader of East Germany, Erich Honecker, was fired. Where is he? There he is. Eric. And there's more pictures of the wall.
In case you haven't.
Honecker resigned due to mounting pressure. He was not a favourite of Gorbachev, who saw him as an inflexible hardliner. Honecker had replaced Ulbricht in 1971. East Germany had only had 2 leaders since 1950. In March, Honecker had confidently predicted that the wall would last another 100 years. Honecker was then replaced by Egon Krenz. On November 4th, 500,000 protesters gathered in the Alexanderplatz, East Berlin's largest square, chanting, "Wir wollen raus," we want out. The protesters refused to move despite secret police death threats and some violence. On November 9th, a directive was issued by the head of the East German Communist Party, Günter Schabowski, for police to allow greater freedom of travel. At a press conference, Schabowski announced that new regulations would take effect immediately. The press conference was broadcast all across East and West Berlin on the evening news, and East Berliners, the Ossis, began gathering at the wall. No one would take responsibility, and it took some time for border guards to succumb to popular pressure, but soon they began opening the border crossings with little or no identity checks. The Ossis swarmed through to be greeted by the people of West Berlin, the Wessis, with champagne. Many began smashing holes in the wall with picks as a celebration and souvenirs. The wall was now open and unguarded. Anything could come through. Scene 4. Wir wollen raus. We want out. The investigators are discovered singly and together by members of the CIA who encourage you in a way that you can't refuse to accompany them. They've been searching for you for some time because they know rumors have got to them that a Frenchman, a German woman, and an English and an American have been involved in issues that concern them for some time, stretching back to 1961. You are taken to meet a CIA agent in Western Berlin, whose name is Albert, known as Bert Dunbar, and you are ushered into his office. Gentlemen, lady, I'm Bert Dunbar. I'm led to believe that you know about the problem.
Well, yes, we know a little, but we haven't quite worked much out.
We are aware of a certain series of dates that have come, that have created large shifts in the political landscape, but we do not know what causes them.
Well, it sounds like you know about as much as we do. We know that something today on the November the 9th, and for some reason this year, 1989, is important. We've had some leads in the past, but they've all gone missing. We had a Dr. Vanderkrieg, but he disappeared. We had Claudia Hartmann, who came across from East Berlin with Sophie and Klaus Gruber, but they just sort of yelled out, well, Claudia just yelled out phrases, but that's where we got the dates from. But other than that, we just need your help.
Well, we will pass on any notes. I have extensive notes.
No, I think we need you in person. So I'm asking you, can you help us, or will you not?
We are not as young as we used to be.
I fear that with
You're
what's
a head
happened,
waitress now.
with what's happened today,
You run a waitressing business now, don't you?
you own the restaurant now, don't you?
Wow.
I am.
What's it called?
I am
Is
running
it McDonald's?
So
Yeah.
you have a choice to help or not to help.
That is the question.